Hello and welcome to Join the Conversation, Students and Scholarly Articles, an open educational resource. This video explores academic or scholarly sources and when and why students read them. We'll be chiefly discussing scholarly journal articles as the most common example of an academic source. We'll also learn more about what scholars, for example, professors, scientists, and other researchers do, and how publishing is at the heart of creating new knowledge and is part of scholarly conversations. When a student uses academic sources, they are also joining these conversations. It's helpful to understand the difference between academic versus non-academic sources. The main questions to ask are, who wrote this? Why was this written? And who is the audience? Let's take as examples a magazine article as a non-academic source and a journal article as an academic source. A scholarly journal article is very different from a magazine article. In very broad strokes, we can generalize that a magazine article is written by a journalist, a professional news reporter and writer, to investigate a current event. Magazine articles are written for general mass audiences, for anyone to read. Non-academic sources are characterized by their audience, which is everyone. In contrast, an academic source is not written for a general audience. It is written by a scholar to be read by other scholars and who, in turn, build new knowledge based on previous scholarship. Non-academic versus academic sources look very different too. Magazine articles have large, splashy photographs or illustrations. Scholarly journal articles do not. Journal articles look very text-heavy and never have pictures on the first page. Often, you'll see information about where the authors work, for example, a university or their educational degrees. Also, look for an abstract and keywords. Only scholarly journal articles have these features. What are some conventions of a scholarly article? Academic sources like journals follow certain conventions or ways of doing things. For example, academic sources are written using formal English and often use a lot of jargon or specialized and technical language specific to the area of research or study. Scholarly articles have distinctive parts, for example, an abstract. Although there are many ways to communicate and share research or other scholarship, the most important road is through publication. Scholarly publishing is valued not only because it helps other scholars build on new knowledge, but also because it often has a peer review process built into it to help provide quality control. This is especially important in science, where research can have a major impact on human lives. Professors are expected to publish articles and books. They devote their lives not only to teaching, but also to research and publishing. All scholars publish to contribute new knowledge that will be used by other scholars and which may be helpful to the general public. Let's dig deeper into what makes an academic source or a scholarly article different from a non-academic source. Let's start by thinking about readers as an audience. Although students read and use academic sources for their papers, presentations, or undergraduate research, the main audience for an academic source is other scholars or researchers who work in the same area as the author of the scholarly source. This audience tends to be very specialized. For example, within a specific area or discipline, there are many subdisciplines. Within biology, there are researchers who specialize in zoology, the study of animals. Within zoology, there are researchers who specialize in specific animal groups. And there are specialized journals devoted to these different areas of study. This helps researchers keep up with new research findings from their peers, the other researchers in their specialty. Researchers build on each other's work. When they write an article about their research, they will read relevant journal articles and then cite or provide citation to the important ones. This is called doing the literature review. The literature review furthers scholarly conversations. An author of an academic source also uses citations to back up what they are arguing. Students perform a literature review when they find sources for their papers, presentations, or projects and use those sources to back up what they are arguing. They are also joining a scholarly conversation. Why are students asked to include academic sources? The main reason is for the student to learn more about their topic or research question from an expert through the process of reading all or parts of the article or other academic source. The more you read about your research topic, the more you can reflect on your own knowledge and with your original thinking, join the conversation on that topic. You are part of a scholarly conversation.